Hey guys, we are playing some. What are we playing? 4-8 or 3-6? We're playing 4-8 Heroes mix tonight, which is basically horse, but it's just in a different order. 7 card stud. We're gonna try and play one full round for you guys, see where it goes. The game's just a little bit slower than normal, just because there are a lot of stud games. You can see limit hold'em stud 8 or better, Raz, limit Omaha 8 or better, and 7 card stud. So in Heroes, they just reorganize it so it's not back-to-back flop games and 3 stud games all in a row. Start with limit hold'em. So we have 8 deuce offsuit. This is a hand we just fold in the big blind. Not too much to do here. This hand's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure we do not defend this against even a small blind open, even though we have position. Just too rough. King Jack offsuit. My guess is we'd probably do some calling here in the small blind, but against a 3-bet we'd probably fold. Let's see here, Jack. We would have made trip jacks though. Not too much to say really so far. See how this goes. King deuce on the button is a fold. Let's see. I've said this in the past before, like there's not too much for me to really say on limit hold'em. We can play and discuss a little bit, but there's so much good material, and I mean the game for the most part is just, it's solved. So basically anything I tell you, it's going to be more exploitation of my opponents than anything. Here, check call. Pretty much aces should bet. Full house should definitely bet. Not too much to really say about that one. The hand kind of played itself. Queen 8 offsuit here. Queen 8 suited is probably a raise here from the cutoff, but Queen 8 off is probably a fold, definitely against a hijack open. I will say pre-flop, my game is usually pretty consistent with a raise only or fold. Like Josh here cold calls pre-flop. I don't usually do that unless I'm in the small blind or big blind because of the price I'm getting. So if I'm going to come in, if someone comes in before me opens, I'm going to 3-bet or fold. That's what I would do in Josh's position. Oops, another table here I just opened up. Here, let's leave this one. But I definitely got the opportunity to get some mixed game, get a mixed game going for you guys tonight, so we're gonna do it. Ace 3 offsuit. Hold'em is just one of those games where sometimes you just have to fold every hand for a while, but it's part of the game. Actually, I remember reading a book years ago. It was one of the first poker books I read, and one of the tips, even though I thought that in general a lot of the book was kind of the mentality of poker and how you play, but one of the things he said was like use folding as a weapon. And as kind of dumb as that sounds, you know, in some games you can actually do that, like you're so tilted and other people are super tilted that you have the ability to keep your level-headedness, and you know, if nothing's going your way, just keep folding. And in some ways I actually think that's a really, really, really good tip. Just basically letting everyone else make the mistakes around you. I remember during the World Series a lot, actually. I would play in an Omaha game. Omaha 8 or better, usually somewhere around like 75, 150, or 100, 200. And during the series, when the game first started, it wasn't necessarily a great game, but by the end of the night or a couple hours in, so many people were tilted, angry, whatever word you want to use, and I mean, the game was just great, and if you could just keep your discipline and keep your level head by that time, people were making mistakes after mistake after mistake. So a lot of times it's just by keeping your head in the game. Yeah, it gives you a strategic advantage that a lot of people don't necessarily have. Dosser's repping a pretty strong hand here. Gets them both to fold. Yeah, my commentary on limit hold'em without really seeing the hands is kind of it's tough, I would say. Stud 8 or better here. So again, stud 8 or better. 1 second, sorry. Stud 8 or better. There's always going to be a stud high hand, and if there's a qualifying low, it's going to get half the pot. You need 5 cards, 8 or under unpaired. Best low hand is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If there's 2 lows, the best low hand or the best Raz hand is going to get half the pot. Just by looking at boards right now, ace 3 of clubs is a super strong hand considering action. Aces are the definite jokers in this game because they play as your highest high and your lowest low card. Dosser makes open jacks and bets. And he catches the ace too, which is a pretty good card, which means Fiend probably doesn't have aces here. Probably means he paired the 3, which is most likely. Didn't have a draw on anything else. The best type of low hands in this game, and it's board dependent. It's really what's out there. So if you get the opportunity to make notes and know what the dead cards are, it's super important to look around, take note. Usually what I do is I usually will write down what the cards are in the chat. I think Phenom's working a little bit to increase the visibility, because obviously if you can see, if like I start typing down here, it's just really difficult to see what I'm typing. But I think Phenom's going to improve that one. But usually I write down the dead cards to know like what the dead cards are. It's important. Basically, like really strong hands in this game are like still any rolled up hand, just like it would be in stud. It doesn't matter what. Interesting, 8 deuce. He makes a jack high straight. Yeah, any rolled up hand's good. This hand is playable. The more people in the hand, I think it's less playable. There's no 4 dead. Some of the, I would say some of the good cards. He limps with an ace, which is usually like kind of weak. I'm just gonna limp behind him. 6 does raise. I think Josh is slightly tilting, but he might not be either. We're gonna call. We make the buried 4, which is just a gin card. Everyone actually catches pretty good here. I'm going to bet hoping that I get raised and then I can put more action in. And the other thing too is my 3/4s now are like blocking all the straights, which is great. Like I don't expect Dosser here. Dosser here like almost never has a straight here because of it. Now even if he raises, like that's totally fine. I actually think I'm going to back raise here because it's more likely he has a pair and I block all of the straight cards. So my hand is actually pushing a lot of equity against his, believe it or not, against his specific range. Josh is just going to have to go with it. There's nothing else he can do. If Dosser 4-bets me, like, that's fine. Now he checks and I bet. And on the river, if he checks, I'm probably going to bet too, honestly, just because I have the 3/4s. 6, 7, 8, 9. So he did make a low. Okay. Yeah, he did have a low, and he just made it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 2. He did have a. He actually turned a straight draw, which is kind of surprised he didn't read me as a high hand there. I would have definitely raised his hand on 6th Street against mine because he had an open-ended straight draw and an already made low. Same thing here. I'm going to limp with the split 3s and a 4. Probably should actually consider raising, considering I have a queen and a 9 behind me. But I think limping is fine. I don't think it really takes away from anything. Like, you definitely want to limp some strong hands too occasionally. I'm going to go ahead and bet this one. Expect to probably get it heads up with Dozer and me because Moxie was the bring-in, so he's pretty wide. And then Fiend here catches a jack. So I expect him, unless he's got a flush or a fold. Actually, dozer folds. Bet here again. We have 3 to low showing. We have 3, 4, 7 on our board. We're just going to bet the 3s again one more time. And then we're going to bet the 7 low and a pair on the river here. If we get raised, we just call. He does make a 7 low. He makes a better 7 low, but no pair, so we get half. He has a 7, 6, 5, 2, 1. We have a 7, 6. I think we had 7, 6, 5, 4, 2 or something like that. I missed it. So here with the deuce 7, 6, we have 3 low cards. Not the best hand. It's rainbow. We do have a straight draw. We have to run out pretty good, but given the price, we only have to call 250 into 1150. We're going to call. And then when he catches good and we brick out, we're just going to fold. You do see a lot of stealing with the aces in this game. That's because, again, it's just such a good card. It's like the Joker. So when any high card's facing it, has to be pretty careful. So like even if you have split kings and an ace opens, you have to be pretty cautious. Here I'm going to just go ahead and try to not necessarily steal, but I'm just going to go ahead and open, and if I get it through, the price I'm getting is pretty good to try to get the blinds right here. 5, 8, 7's fine. No 6 is dead. One of the 9's dead, which doesn't necessarily mean like a ton, but we get 2-bet by the deuce, which is totally fine. We just continue. Just be cognizant going forward. Catch a 9, which isn't the best card, but I think we're going to try and peel once for the 6. Dosser actually should be check raising here, I think, a fair bit. But he might just be scared considering he 2-bet us and he's got a 6. We make the 9 high straight. It's kind of interesting now, honestly, depending if I want to try to trap this hand or not. I think I'm going to go ahead and jam it right here. I could also have like a 7 low draw and a flush draw. I'm just going to go ahead and raise it. And against Dosser here, I'm just going to, in case he's like doing something here with aces up, I'm just going to go ahead and jam it. Because now I actually have, I have a rough 8 plus I have a 7 draw. He probably doesn't have that now, but I'm still going to bet the river. And he does have a low. He's got 8, 7, 5, deuce 1. My low is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. But getting that price to draw to the gut shot, I think it's totally fine. Again, like the good starting hands is in this game, and he rolled up 3 low suited cards is really strong. 3 to wheel with an ace is really strong. Against the 7 opening here, we're going to flat call the 4, 7, 8, 2 suit. Don't like to see that we have 2 of our low diamonds out there, but they both relatively catch good, and we don't necessarily have to bet here 100% of the time. We can just call around and see 5th street. 7, 4, 3 catches good. We have 8, 6, 3. Kind of close between raising and calling. I think I'm going to go ahead and raise and try to get the deuce 3 to clear out. He does. If we get it heads up, it's great. We have 6s. We block 2 6s here. But against the 3, 4, 5, 7, we're just going to check and call. No real value, I think, in betting against a 4-card straight board. And then we make 7s and 6s, and we're just going to check call the river. He has 7s and a 7 low. So we chop the 2 pair. All right, Raz. Best hand in this game is, we're going to fold this one right here with 2 low cards behind us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The relative strength in your hand is, it's all kind of relative. Like in deuce to 7, you're trying to make a wheel like every single time you play triple draw. In this game, a lot of times it just depends on what the up cards are and where you start. Like you're still trying to make a wheel, there's no doubt. But if you have the lowest card, sometimes you have a 10 up. You know, that's just kind of the way it works. And if that's the case, then not too much to do. Like sometimes a 10 wins in Raz, sometimes a worse hand wins in Raz. So what did we play so far? We played Limit Hold'em, Stud 8. We're going to play Raz, Limit 08. Okay, looks like we got some people sitting out. open 7, 8, 10 in Raz. Obviously we're the bring in. And we're just going to fold to this one, this action, raise and re-raise. I mean, like, sometimes the board can just run off pretty bad, but man, like, that's just gonna see it. Okay, deuce 8 queen here, we're just gonna fold. Still a little too rough in my mind. Looks like everyone sat out, which is kind of surprising, to be honest. So Raz, Jack 8, we're just going to fold. You know what I think we're going to do here is we're going to change it up just slightly here. So everyone quit me, I'm going to pause it, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back here with, we found another mixed game. That's kind of the beauty of Phenom, is they have multiple mixed games running, and now we're playing Fun Mix 3-6. And we turn the nuts here in Omaha High-Low. The Jack-Jack we get led into. Nothing here really to do, but just go ahead and raise. If we get 3-bet, my guess is usually we're up against some sort of flush draw, which is unfortunate if that's the case. This is kind of close. I still think betting in limit Omaha 8 or better. I think betting the straight is fine because he has a lot of 2-pair combos here. Unfortunately, we do get check raised, but I still think we need to bet the straight and call, I guess. That's a... Yeah, I mean, I understand why he bets the turn. He's just like repping a straight. But unfortunately, we run into a flush. But I don't think we should be checking a straight back there in limit. PLO, I think checking the ace-high straight here, the Broadway there would be totally fine. So yeah, we'll get some extra games in for you guys. So Fun Mix is slightly different. So limit Omaha 8 or better, Badusi, Badoogie, stud 8 or better, deuce to 7, ace to 5, and deuce to 7 Raz. Queen Jack 9-5 here in the big blind. We are going to call and defend from the big only. Flop a 9 and a gut shot. We can probably do a little leading, do some check calling. Turns an ace, which isn't great for us. Now we kind of wish we bet the flop. Let's see here. On the ace turn, I think I'm just going to give it up. If he's got aces up, I'm in really bad shape. Against the cutoff open here, the queen deuce 6-8, we're just going to fold. Too rough. He's a 3-4-10-8. Makes a queen high straight, and we'll scoop. Badusi, best hand is 7-5-4-3-2 with a 5-4-3-2 Badoogie. So we're usually looking for start of our 3 cards. Usually the 3 cards you're looking for are like 3 card 4, 3 card 5, 3 card 6. All of them are playable pretty much from any position. Most Badoogies in this game are pretty strong. I would say like 8 and under in some scenarios. Some like 9s are good. Like any other Badoogies besides that are kind of, it just depends on how the action goes. But we'll kind of, I guess, comment. Usually like opening a 2 card from the button is okay. Usually under the gun, you want to at least be, you at least want to have a just a 2-card draw or better. I would say like opening 3 from most positions is too rough. Goes 2-2, and usually in Badesi, all those games, if you have the draw lead, usually you're doing the betting like here in a 2, even in no more draws, like a 2-0, 2 should check to the 0. The 0 is going to bet a lot, and then if he makes a good hand, he can check raise. So here we have a 3-4-7, so we're going to play this hand. We're going to definitely open it. And we get it through. Fold the next one, 2-card 9. So this one goes 2-2. Just looks like it's just checking through right now. Blue improved to a 1, so usually when she improves to a 1 and she doesn't bet, it usually means she's either got a really rough Badugi or no Badugi at all. It goes 1-1. Looks like neither of them have a Badugi given how that hand just played. And Mr. Shadow bets and wins. 4-5-8 under the gun I think is just a little bit too rough, so 8-5-4 I would say is just a little bit too rough, so we're going to fold. HEROS mix. Where's this one? Is this the one I'm in? It's not updating, sorry. 2, 4, 6, 7 here. You can do 2 things in this situation. Against a small blind range, I'm just going to raise and take 1. Because I actually have fold equity on later streets if he takes 3. Because it looks like I have a Badugi. Plus, actually, like the 2-3-6 here is a pretty good card on its own. And we fold right away. So it just kind of like shows that gap, I would say. It's one thing about this game in general is usually you draw to Badugi, but if your opponent's drawing really rough, you have the ability to push them off hands on a later street, even if they have a better 3 card, because you get to pat quicker. It's kind of one of the nuances of the game. Okay, Badugi. Best hand in Badugi is 4-3-2-1 Rainbow. Suits, you want all different suits. You want all different suits if given the opportunity. And, well, yeah, for sure you want all different suits. That makes a Badugi, sorry. And pairs do count against you in this game. So if you have 3-3-2-1 all different suits, you still don't have a Badugi. So here in a 1-1, very similar to all the other draw games. Usually if you have the betting lead, you're usually checking and betting accordingly. Now in this situation, it's a little bit different with 1 draw left. If he made a Badugi against a pat hand, sometimes if they can be a little bit rough, you can lead. Wow, he makes a wheel. It's really tough to make a wheel in this game. It's just very rare to see it. But we just saw one there, so it does happen. 3-8-6 here if given the opportunity. We're going to open from the cutoff. We can improve to a 3-card 6, but ooh, interesting. Got 3 bet and snap called, so we're going to call. And let's see, 1-1-1. Don't love our drawn position, but we do make a 10. I expect Aardvark here to do some betting. Mr. Shadow decides to raise. I think we're still going to 3-bet the 10 Badoogie here. We usually get some folds out of here. The 4-bet's not great. I'm going to still call. And see what action happens after this, but the pot's relatively big and I only had to call $3 more. But now with 2 draws left, now we're on the big streets. So I still think we, it's kind of one of my rougher hands here, to be completely honest, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I think I'm going to let this one go. Like, his line is really strong, and if he gets me, he gets me, but definitely wanted to call to see if he was pat there, because some people can spaz out a little bit and put the 4th bet in with a draw, trying to get you to fold right away. So I still think we need to see one. The problem is if I break my 10 in that situation, I guess my thinking here is we can't really break the 10 to draw smoother, because like if he has our 10 beat, it most likely, if we draw to an 8, like an 8-6, he's going to have our 8 beat a lot too. So I think it makes a lot more sense there to pat and then see what he does, and then in some instances consider calling one more time and then seeing if he bets the river or not. I think that's usually, like, I would say my overall best play, but when you have unbreakable doogies, you can't really draw to anything. It's just kind of the nature of the game. Just have to make your decision whether to pat your rough hand or just muck it. We got a Super Circus mix going tonight. We have a fun mix going tonight, which is what we're playing right now. Some pot limit 5 card, no limit. Actually heads up 100, 200. 100, 200. Oh, we got some action. Hold on. Deuce of 7 razz. I'm going to raise this one. I did not try to get in this one, but I accidentally did. So, 1 second. Put this to the side. I didn't realize I was still in something. Sit out, sit out, sit out. Sorry, what? I gotta tell this gentleman here I'm in too many games. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I got dealt into a game I didn't realize I was in, so we're gonna go ahead and bet. Now that we have ace deuce 3, ace deuce 3 is a pretty nutty spot. Any hand in this spot. So we're just gonna basically bet down. Yeah, we're gonna bet this one. Sorry, I'm just doing too many things. But yeah, ace deuce 3 against 1-1. We're just gonna bet down all the way. Give him the opportunity. The thing though is here is he could exploit and like check raise here, but Doogie for sure. But there's nothing really else to do except just bet down if he's choosing this line for value. But yeah, if he makes a Doogie, he definitely gets to check raise me because my hands kind of face up. Sorry, I got a little overwhelmed there with 2 games and trying to sit out. 2 card 8 in this situation, or 3 card jack, I think it's just too rough. We're just going to fold. Blue is a little bit tight, I will give that. So usually I try to exploit and play a little bit, say a little bit, we're going to raise this one too. We have 3 card flush, 2 card low. Expect blue to have some sort of like split queens here or higher. Maybe like jacks or 10s too is possible. We're going to call. Catch a pretty bad card. I don't think there's much else to do here. Except just fold. Yeah, we got to raise too, so we're folding. here. What do we got? We got the 3 bring in, we got an ace over here, and basically everyone's got a low card. So my hand is like, I would say totally unplayable. I don't even, well, should I open it against blue? Probably. Probably can open anything against blue just because I think she, well, we're going to test that theory out right now. I think she's just a little bit too snug in these situations. So you definitely can counteract the snugness by, you definitely counteract the person playing by 2-type by just playing a lot of loose hands. Ace opens here, we're going to 2-bet the split aces. I would do this with some of my best, like, I would say like 3 to a 6 flush, or like even 3 to a low flush. Now they both coach cooking. Just because I have ace, it doesn't necessarily mean that I should bet here every single time. Blue also catches like a card that's really good for her range, and so we're gonna check call. Everyone bricks, which is pretty good, so we're just gonna go ahead and bet this. We're kind of turning our hand face up, but I don't think there's really anything they can do about it. We make open queens. It's not great that blue catches a 3, but if she's got a gut shot, she's got a gut shot. So be it. I'm probably just going to check the river here, but I do have 2 pair. And then on the river, I'm just going to check because I think blue is drawing to a 6 high straight. She actually was not, but I don't think we were going to get the value there anyways from any hand that we have beat, so I didn't think like a worse 2 pair was going to call me there, especially when I bet 5th Street. It looks like I have what I have. Split 8s in this spot. We're going to open the split 8s. Could do some limping. 8-8-6-4. He catches, I would say most likely a brick. So we bet when we have 2 low cards showing, and folds, takes it down. Jack 3-4. We're going to muck it. Blue opens a 7. Queen flat calls. I usually say like the queen's range in this situation is usually like 3 flush, buried high pair, split queens. That makes the most sense. I don't think you're going to get like 2 random low cards in there. That would be pretty much lighting money on fire. 4-6-8, 3 low cards up there. Pretty standard bet. Now the queen has kind of a difficult position, but he's only got $10 left, so he probably, if he's got a split pair, should just probably call it off. Not much to do in this spot. Just kind of pray and hope, I guess. Oh, he had buried aces? Yeah. And he makes good bet there with 6s and 8s. And here we have split queens with a king behind us and an ace and 3 low cards here. I'm just going to fold this in. I think this is probably fine. Alright, new game, triple draw. This normal 7-5-4-3-2 is the best hand. You would love a deuce in your hand if given the chance. This is just too rough here on the button. Most likely, in single draw, usually you just raise the jack and pat it and hope for the best. Here, if folded to me, I will open the 1 card 8 draw with the straight draw. I don't love the fact that I have the straight draw with it, but from the cutoff, I will open it. And this is probably the earliest that I would open this hand. Hoping to catch a deuce or a 3. If I catch a 7, I usually snow this hand, but it gets through. So obviously that's a good outcome. Pretty looking Archie hand. Trick 10s. Let's see, If you get to listen to any commentary by Chris Fitch, definitely do that. He's definitely one of the best triple draw players out there, period. Yeah, go watch the Poker Go 10K Deuce to 7. You can listen to him do the commentary on that. Even the single draw, if you want to watch the Deuce to 7 single draw, he does commentary for that one too during the World Series. Deuce 8, you're under the gun as a fold. I don't think I have any. Yeah, we never open under the gun and draw 3. I'm just kind of playing that in my head, but no, I don't think we ever do that. So here we got a 1-2 spot after the first draw. And again, usually the person with the draw lead takes the betting lead. Now Bonobo takes 0. Probably debating on what to do. He might have a really rough draw here, and a really rough draw is sometimes drawing dead in this situation, and that's one thing he doesn't want to do. He's drawing live with a straight draw. Use a 7 triple draw. 4, 6, 7 on the button will defend. Don't love it, but if given the chance, we will. All right, here we go. We make a pat 8 after the first draw. It's a little bit rough. It's one of the worst, one of the not smooth 8s, but we're definitely going to go ahead and check raise it and pat it. So again, he had the draw lead, so we were going to go ahead and check to him and then let him bet his 1. Stand pat. Now this line definitely looks a little bit snowy, so we're gonna bet the river. And most likely we have the best hand here for sure, since he hasn't called yet. So my only guess is he was just debating whether to pay off pretty light. We got deuce. Just checking the mix here. I think what we'll do is we'll play ace to 5 triple draw and then end it. But remember, since always got to keep track of where we're at in the games. So it looks like it goes 2, 1, 2, 2, and the 1 takes the lead. Now, like I said, usually the 1 card bets here, but if he had a really rough hand in a situation where he's getting called by everyone, I think he could make the case for occasionally checking. The only problem is usually you turn your hand face up if you do that. So I would say in most given situations that he still keeps the betting lead. Goes bet, and it goes raise in a 1-2-1 spot. Blue stands pat, which is kind of interesting, I think, too. And blue had 87, and Bonobo had 85, which is really strong in that spot. So that hand's going to win. Now we change from deuce to 7, ace to 5, so we have to keep track because a lot of people play the wrong game here, and I've done it so many times. So here, against an under the gun, it's actually kind of close just because we're still going to call here with the 3-card wheel. But I think it's kind of close considering like a lot of people play the wrong game than the very next round. Takes 2, takes 1. We're going to draw. Catch an ace and a 7. This is close here. I'm going to call and just draw 1. But I think it's close between like raising. Again, I still think like some people are playing the wrong games here, so I'm just going to break at the 7. But having an extra ace in my hand too, I think kind of like pushes it in that direction a little bit for it to be possible. And we're still going to break, catch a 9, and we're just going to give up. And he bets again, which don't love, so now we just fold. We're going to fold our 9. Two, 5, 6 here in the cutoff if given the opportunity. We're going to open it. And against and under the gun raise, we're just going to muck it. Four, 5, 7 here is a little too weak under the gun. If we had a 4-card 7, most likely we would be playing it. Let's see here. What's the next? Deuce to 7 Raz or something like that. The next round's deuce to 7 Raz, right? Yeah. All right. I think we'll also try to get that one in as well. Just because it's a game that we don't play like a ton. Six, 5 here is just most likely going to be a fold. It's a little bit too rough. And we're just going to fold it. Everyone's leaving again. No, don't leave. Ace 7 small blind. I'm gonna make a pretty loose open here. And draw 3. We improve to Ace 7 6. We're gonna check call. And we do check call. No significant blockers at this point. We do catch 1-card 7 draw. We're gonna check call. And we're going to break this one. Make an 8, and it's kind of close between like check calling, but I think this is probably okay as a check call. If he bets, I think this is just probably fine, honestly. He makes a 6 and we were dead, and sometimes that happens when you draw rough, but that is okay. Ace 2 7 on the button will open if given the opportunity. If we get raised, I think we just fold. I think drawing to a 7 against an open's probably a little bit too loose even in position. Moving some tables around here. One spot last draw, went check check. Yeah, see, Phenom even said still playing deuce, so I mean, yeah, you just got to be very cognizant of the people behind you. Looks like it went check bet river with an 8. Missed it like reading his text, but all right, deuce to 7. We're gonna end it after the Omaha round, I guess. but here we don't have anything to defend with. Sometimes if we are against a late position steal and we have 2 low cards in the hole, most likely we're going to defend. This is not. We have an extra king in the hole, so this is just a muck. Makes us. Oh, he made a straight. I was like, he made a straight. How do you not get half? Oh, this is deuce to 7. 10 deuce 6, and again, like your relative strength of your hand is just dependent on your up cards here. With a 5 and a 9 behind, we're going to go ahead and limp. And if we can call for 1 bet, we'll call 1 bet. If it gets bet and raised, we'll probably just give it up. But we're going to call here. 7-5. Catch a good card too. We're going to go ahead and call. Catches a king and we catch a 6, so we're going to go ahead and bet. And if you paired the 7, he should fold. Theoretically, we could get raised in this situation against a strong draw, but it looks like he had a mediocre hand at best. Ace is not good in this game. Again, the best hand to deuce to 7 raz is still 7-5-4-3-2. So the ace plays only high in this game, does not play low. Seven deuce would steal if given the opportunity, but don't like having the pair in our hand, obviously. But given the opportunity, we will take it. And the king really has to find a pretty strong hand here to call us with. And 9-3-5 in this spot, kind of very similar in the fact that we have 2 3s actually kind of helps us a little bit. So we're gonna limp this one right here. Sorry. And we call. Oh, the ace called, which is really interesting. They both catch an ace. We have jack 9. We're gonna go ahead and bet. Now we catch an ace, which is like completely ironic. But we still call, especially with the person behind us more likely folding. We are going to the deuce 7-3. So deuce reject 9. We're going to call here. Could be dead, but did make the 9 perfect. And we are going to call. And he makes a 7, which is obviously a really strong hand. Regular. Fortunately, in that situation, we were dead, but that does happen in Raz sometimes. 5-4-9 in this spot. We're going to open if given the chance. The ace can almost not... Really, it's going to be hard for the ace to continue in this situation. Yeah, it folds, so we get that one through. I guess we're going to play the limit Omaha round and then probably just, yeah, probably end it right there. Looks like we're going to be close to an hour at this point. Okay. Let's see here. We can do 8 against the small blind raise. We would defend this hand. And against a call, we're just going to check back to make 8s and deuces. If we get bet into, we got to fold. We're going to go ahead and actually do the betting ourselves because it's hard to continue with this hand in general, like face any action, and I would much rather just put the bet out there myself, and if he calls, we have okay equity. and if he folds, it's a benefit for us. Ace deuce 4-5 here, small blind versus big blind, easy open. Uh, 10-6-3-7 here on the button, I think is a fold with 3 suits. Here though we would defend it if someone opens into us. Okay, looks like we just won that one. Deuce 3, 7, 8 here in the small blind. Pretty windy outside my house right now, actually. 2, 3, 7, 8 here. I would open if given the chance. If double suited, I would continue here, but 2, 3, 7, 8 is just a little bit weak. We're gonna fold. Badusi. We have 3-8 basically. We're just gonna give it up. Badusi here. We have a 9 low, but we only have a 2 card. We're just gonna also fold this hand. Now you can definitely play the 2 card hands if you're dealt like a 7 or a smooth 8. I think those hands are totally fine to just raise and pat. Even like maybe a hand similar to this on the button, because that way you just have a lot of fold equity against your opponents on later streets. But from this position here, I'm just going to fold. Three, 3, it goes bet raise. Probably going to go 1-1 is my guess. Maybe 2-1. Goes 2-0. All right, I'm off. It's hard to make a pat hand after drawing 3. Nothing here. 2 card 8. And 2 card 6 here. If given the chance against the small blind, we'd probably call. Against the button here out of position, I think it's slightly rough. And we're just going to check it back and draw 3. We have 3 card 8 here now. Block 2 9s. We're just going to check it back again. Draw 2 more. And if he bets, we're just going to fold. Small pot, really nothing else. No badoogie. Check it back again. No, it's hard to snow in this game. We have 2, 5, 6, and we make an 8 low. So we are going to call. If check 2, we were going to bet, and he makes a 3 card, a better 3 card, and bets the river. I actually don't mind his play. I think it's probably okay given how we played that hand. Five deuce here in the small blind. Open if given the opportunity, but we don't get that chance. Same with the 3-5 here. I'm just going to let the 3-5 go. was Badusi. I think we're just going to play to our big blind here and just call it a day. So Baduki here, 3 card 9, we're just going to fold. Big hand here, got some action. And the 10 wins. Looks like we're going to fold this last hand here under the gun. And yeah, guess we're going to stop it here. So that was the fun mix. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them below. If you guys want to sign up for an account, use the link below. Until then, good luck at the tables. Play well. Bye-bye.